Welcome back, Showa spectators. Following the Dream 5 unboxing video I did, I'm now going to review the third figure I took from this box, none other than the mega-sized mantis Kamacurus, a gorgeous figure from out the box. I couldn't wait to take a look at this guy. Of course, Kamacurus debuted in Son of Godzilla, a megafauna from Sojel Island, who, along with many of his species, unearthed baby Godzilla's egg, basically hatching Minya, and also bringing Godzilla to the island to do battle with these three Kamacurus. After some hijinks with some stones, obviously, Godzilla had enough, and one of them took a stab at him, and Godzilla basically just trounced his ass. Now, Kamacurus would show up again, mostly through stock footage in Godzilla's Revenge, aka All Monsters Attack. There is one, I think, original shot with the marionette peering over a hole in the ground that Ichiro falls into. Now, Kamacurus is an interesting kaiju because it is one of the few kaiju you see multiple of the same species of on the screen, outside of maybe Rodan and maybe the Mega Nulon. He's always been a fascinating creature, but not to the point where he's a very popular one. But this figure really elevates him to a higher standard. And that's really his legacy in the Showa era. Of course, he would show up later in Final Wars with a new design and new powers. But back to this figure. This figure is gorgeous. This is the third figure, like I said, that I'm going to review. We're going to dissect this insect right now. Now, to start off, Bandai had released a Kamacurus figure back in '93. It was kind of a brown and green hybrid. Not very good compared to this guy in terms of aesthetics. So let's take a look at this figure right from the get. My first impressions are, oh man, this thing is a beautiful figure. This could be figure of the year for me, honestly. He's just immaculately detailed. Look at this guy. So let's start with the colors first. As you can see, Bandai did their best to match what you get on screen, and I think they succeeded here. Okay, so he's cast in this kind of rusty reddish-brown vinyl, which looks perfectly suitable for this kaiju. The underside obviously is showcasing that the best, as there's no paint accents, but here, when you look at it from the top, you get accented colors. You get this dark charcoaly kind of accented colors on the upper body, accented colors on the wings. It's nice. It gives a nice little contrast to this kind of milk chocolatey wing covering that is on his thorax. Now, we're going to focus on his face, right by his mandibles. He has this kind of white, upside-down Y pattern. It's not really a true white. It's kind of like a faded white. It's also evident here on his sickle arm, also on his toes. You can see on all four of those feet, it's there. Not bad. And let's see what we have here. Now, focusing on that antenna, look at that. These guys are beautiful, like a nice pale yellow. The eyes, a bright popping orange with a little hint of gold metallic spray, kind of give it that glow that you see like in the movie. Man, those are mesmerizing. Let's get a closer look. Look at that. Amazing, amazing paintwork. Now, let's look at the sculpt of this figure, because that's where the devil is in the details here. You get all these little bumps and ridges on his upper body, little spikes and kind of like dorsal plates, sort of, but not really. His wings have these kind of nice ridged patterns that go down. Very nice, basically like a true insect. His tail ends in that nice little pronged tip. His legs have this nice kind of texture, like a little gravelly texture underneath. His underbody has like this segmented thorax going up from the top of his neck all the way down to his tail tip. Looks really nice. It's varying in different sizes. You get these hairy nubs right at the upper joints of his legs. Kind of nasty, but it's all over. You got it there, you got it on all the arms. His arms, his left arm's got that sickle shape. His right arm has got that spear tip. And they're also laced by these little serrated patterns. Now, look at it from the front. He's got those hairy armpits. Yeah, pretty crazy. The details are off the hook here. The ridges around his eyes. He's got these random knobs all over his face. He looks crazy. It can't get over this detail. The tips of his antenna have these little fan-like patterns. That mouth. Look at that mouth. There's so much going on here. You get the top two mandibles, a lower mandible, and something beyond that. Crazy. So yeah, he's a beautiful figure all in all, and the details are above and beyond. I mean, this is definitely, like I said, worthy of Figure of the Year. Okay, on to Articulation. I got these arm movement. I mean, this is crazy. He's got the one sickle arm and the stabby arm. They can rotate. They can't do a full 360 because of the legs, but they got enough range here, which is pretty good to change up the expression. Now, the head, I did not expect. Get a full 360 on that as well, and wow, that's actually more movement than I expected. So I had to pair Minya with Kamacurus. Obviously, that's kind of like Minya's first opponent. He blew smoke rings in his face. Clearly, this Minya, as I've stated before, a little too big. But, you know, it still looks nice. It kind of gives you that whole Son of Godzilla vibe that, you know, I'm hoping for. It makes me hopeful for Kumanga, who will be more properly in scale to be intimidating. But Minya, you know, I gave my review on him. He's fine. Now another bug joining the foray, it's the Mothra larva, just to show how these two insects size up to each other. Mothra is from the 1991-93 Bandai era, and he still retains that same sculpting that is actually prevalent today, which is, you know, staying true to the screen-accurate look. These both look really good. Mothra scales a little bit longer. I don't know how true that is to the on-screen universe, but I believe Mothra is probably a bit smaller. And of course, we have to have the King of the Monsters, and to see how he and Kamacurus scale up, and I'd say this is about right. I can literally see Godzilla taking this guy over his shoulder and body slamming him on the ground. Yeah, these two are good. It makes me almost want to get two more Kamacurus. I know that there's going to be a single release of this, supposedly later in the year, I heard. So I may triple dip on this guy. Who knows? It's the only kaiju I would probably get multiple copies of if it's warranted, if you want to get some sort of screen accuracy going on with your display. And not to be outdone, we're bringing the old sea bug himself, Ibara. He and Kamacurus are similar in the sense that they are both non-bipedal kaiju, but the difference here is that Kamacurus pulls off the multi-legged stance way better than Ibara, whose rear legs are all kind of molded into one piece, like together, not really showing much in terms of his mobility. It's fine because, you know, Ibara is not seen out of the water, so it's not that big of a deal, but taking a look at their undersides, you still get that segmented body that you would get on both, and that's what I really wanted to showcase here. And also their length. Ibara does score a little bit longer than Kamacurus, probably true to the movie suits, but they all look good. I like these non-bipedal kaiju. But what does Jaguar think of this bug? Does he want to squash it? And that was 6 punches for this fantastic figure. Again, everything on this is done right, in my opinion. I can't really think of any way they could improve this. I mean, articulation is great. It's where it should be. I don't see there being a need for waist movement since it's such a small, narrow area. The rear legs, I don't know how they would pull it off. He looks like the screen version we see on Son of Godzilla. He's got the colors are nailed perfectly. This guy is just number one in my book out of this set so far. And I still have 2 more figures to review, so it's hard to tell what's going to be coming out on top. But nonetheless, let me know what you think. Comment down below. Let me know what you think of Kamacurus. share, like, and subscribe my video, and I'll be back with my 4th review from the Godzilla Dream 5 box set soon.